Welcome to the Southwood County Rec Center. We're on the ice as we begin this February edition of Riverkings Hockey. My name is Milton Natta. I'm joined this month by Jacob Routing. He is one of the folks who cares for the ice here at the Southwood County Rec Center, because all of the things that happen here, whether it's learn to skate, figure skating, or the many, many hockey programs, even room ball, are contingent on a good sheet of ice. So Jacob, tell us how you got involved with caring for this ice surface.
Well, my little brother has been playing hockey ever since he was young, so I've been at this place ever since I was young. So, and then you got to be a certain age in order to start driving the Zamboni. So when I turned 18, I asked Jim, "Hey, can you teach me how to drive the Zamboni?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So he taught me how to drive the Zamboni, and it has been a great future for me. It's been a great job here. I also went to get certified to drive the Zamboni when I went to Columbus, Ohio. I got an ice maintenance and equipment operations certification through a North American Rink Conference. So
what did you learn there? What makes a good sheet of ice for hockey or even for figure skating? Do they differ? Are you looking for the same thing?
For the same thing, they don't differ much. What we're looking for is just a smooth sheet of ice that the players can skate on and have fun playing hockey.
So now tell us about learning to drive the Zamboni, because if you come to a hockey game and you're just a fan, that's kind of, that's the between periods ritual, and you picture yourself driving that Zamboni and you wonder how it ever turns, how it makes that turn on the ice. What's the key to driving the Zamboni?
Well, the turning on the ice, each of the tires in the Zamboni has little metal spokes in it that basically help the Zamboni to grip to the ice. So that's what helps you turn, and it's basically like driving a car but on ice. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't.
That's how I like to think of it.
Yeah. So have you ever bumped into the boards while you've been driving the Zamboni?
I have a couple times when I was first learning. You'll get the hang of it though, if you start driving.
So how many people are certified to drive the Zamboni here at the Southwood County Rec Center?
There are multiple people. We train people that are volunteers that are mostly hockey parents. They do most of the Zamboniing during like youth hockey practices. For Riverkings and Rapids hockey, me and Jim take care of most of the Zamboniing. So it's nice to have a professional at the wheel when it comes to games like those.
So now, when you guys are driving the Zamboni, periodically there's something on your right hand that you pump. What are you doing then?
That is clearing the snow out of the auger. What the Zamboni does, it has an auger going up and down, and then it has an auger going sideways. The sideways is what part of the conditioner that is set on the ice that makes the ice smooth, and then it goes up into the vertical auger into the snow tank, which collects all the snow that we pick up from the ice.
Because you actually scrape off that top level that's been worked up during a period of hockey.
Yep, there is a blade in the conditioner that scrapes, and then it collects the snow into the tank.
And what just so fans know right now, how thick is this sheet of ice that we're standing on?
I say about 2 inches. It's not as thick as you think it is. It's not very thick. What we have is 2 inches of ice, and then color, and then we add white below the color, and then below that it's just concrete.
So having had this unique opportunity to work here at the rink, is it a part of your future, do you think? Maybe rink management or working in a rink?
No, I don't see it as part of my future. I think it's just like a job to get me through while I'm going to school. I'm currently going to school to go be in the healthcare field, so it's a nice job to pay the bills while I'm still in school.
All right. Let's go inside, Jacob. Let's show the folks the Zamboni under the hood. Art and I are going to take Jacob inside now. We're now in the northeast corner of the Southwood County Rec Center, which is the home to the Zamboni. We've got the top lifted up, and you're taking a look underneath. Jacob, just kind of give us a walkthrough.
Okay, what we have is our two batteries. Our two batteries are basically the heart of the Zamboni. Some Zambonis operate by gas, so that they'll have propane tanks at the back end, but these have batteries. It's called electric Zamboni. And then what we have here is our water tank. It carries a lot of water for us to lay down a clean sheet of ice with a bunch of water on it. And then what we have is, this is where the snow spits out on the auger. So what it does is it spits out and then goes into our tank here.
And so what we're going to do now is allow Jacob to take the Zamboni out on the ice, and we're going to get up at the level that he sits, and he's going to show us the dashboard, the controls of the Zamboni. That's next as we continue this segment on Riverkings hockey.
Okay, what we got here is basically the driver's point of the Zamboni. What we got is we got multiple levers here. We got levers to go up and down with the conditioner. We got augers, controls. We got this dump tank control. And then we also got our water, what lays down our fresh sheet of ice. What we do is all these levers does something with the Zamboni. So it's pretty much a mind game. It basically drives like a car. So basically it's not that hard.
Over the course of the years, I've spent many days, many nights at this ice arena, right up there on the press level, and I've watched the Zamboni resurface the ice many, many times. Never have I heard what I heard today, and Jacob, that is these little spikes on the tire that go click, 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 click when you're digging into the ice and driving around.
Yeah, basically what there are little metal rivets in the tires. There's hundreds of them in each tire, and they're on all four tires. What they do is they grip into the ice and they help the Zamboni move. That's what that click, click, click is.
And the Zamboni is a part of hockey lore. I mean, there's even been songs written about it that are sung and played at the arena on game night. You're watching Jacob now resurface the ice before the Riverkings hockey on this Tuesday afternoon. We'll have more of Riverkings hockey on this segment on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Stay tuned. There's more coming right up. As we continue this February edition of Riverkings hockey on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media, we now have come to the home of Matt and Deb Fillmore. They have been a billet family for the Riverkings each of the 4 years of the franchise. And I'm sitting here in their front room with the two young men that are a part of that billet family this year. Brett DeLotte, who's on my left, and Dylan Nurse, who's on my right. And you know what? We're not going to talk hockey with these guys. As much as I'd love to do that with the playoffs beginning this weekend and all the hockey things we could talk about, we're not going to talk hockey at all with them this time. We're going to talk family, because one of the parts of being a junior hockey player is being a part of a local family. And how that goes has a lot to do with how you do as a hockey player, because you need that family network, you need that family support. And so we're going to talk billet family first with Brett and with Dylan, and then we're going to bring Matt on, and we're going to talk about why he not only is a part of the Riverking family, we meet him on game night each time that we do the games, and also as a billet family. We'll talk with Matt about his commitment to the Riverkings. So, Brett, I'm going to talk with you because you're the veteran. This is your second year, and it's your second year with this family. Can you share with our viewers the importance as a hockey player of having a good and a comfortable billet family to live with?
Well, I think ultimately it starts here, because when we come here at the beginning of the season, these are the first people we know. So, building a connection with your billet family, because you want to be comfortable when you're up here. So having that connection with your billet family, making it feel like you're at home, makes it a lot easier on the mental stress, being away from home, that type of thing. So I think I'm really lucky to be here. They treat me really well, and I can talk to them about things that are going on in my life that might not be too easy, or just stuff on that aspect. But yeah, so
What are the advantages for you now being with the family for a second year? Because there wasn't that adjustment period. It was like coming home, I would imagine, when you got back here this summer.
I like it was like a couple weeks, I would say, because like obviously being away from home for the first time, it's similar to being at college and going to a dorm for the first time, but
Yeah, that's okay. You talk to me about now. You're in a Kenosha, Wisconsin native, so you're home, your home state, but yet this is a lot different. I mean, we're talking about a much more rural area of the state. What's been the biggest adjustment for you in that regards?
maybe like the smaller town atmosphere, because Kenosha's around like 100,000 people, so around here it's about 20. So yeah, I mean a lot of there's not as many things to do, but I mean you can make things to do with your teammates and you know. So yeah.
So talk about how you incorporate it into the family and what the expectations are to support the family and the household.
Can you repeat that?
Well, sure. I mean, do you have responsibilities around the house? You got to chip in with chores and all that kind of thing. How do you just blend into the family and become a part of the family?
I think like after practice, engage with them, ask them how their days were. We always sit down and have dinner together, talk about work, stuff like that. In terms of chores, we really only have to do like garbage, and when it's snowing and stuff, we shovel outside to help out. Pretty much just try not to like make a mess of anything. Just keep it clean around here. So, yeah, but otherwise, yeah, it's pretty nice here.
Dylan, let's talk about for you. You're a little bit farther away from home, Denver area, Lone Tree, Colorado. What about for you? What's been the biggest adjustments in coming from that area here to this area of central Wisconsin?
Also the smaller town atmosphere, because where I'm from, it's a huge town, and it is like a very nice town with a lot of things around to do. Like we have the mountains, and coming to Wisconsin, as much as like Wisconsin's a good state, it's a lot of flat lands, and coming from like a mountain area, and there's a lot of different types of lands in Colorado, and it's much higher altitude. Coming here, it was a different change, and I could breathe better here because coming from a higher altitude, which helped, but also it just changed a lot coming to Wisconsin from Colorado, and I got to used to it in like a couple of weeks.
So this is your first year within this billet environment. Just tell us about what that's been like for you.
Well, at the start of it, I was really new to it, so I didn't know what I had to think about it and didn't know what to expect, and kind of nervous going in. And then a couple of weeks went by, and I developed into it, started learning about my family, my billet family, and got to know them better and became more comfortable, and it all blended in, and I felt really kind of like at home here. And like at first I did miss home, and I was a little bit homesick, but I assume that happens to a lot of people. And then I developed it, and it was okay at the end.
So having been a part of this experience, you're a hockey guy, you've been a part of this experience, is this something that you yourself would consider doing one day when you have your own home and you're out there working, and maybe help out a young hockey player and host them in your community?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great thing what they're doing, and I think one day if I had the opportunity, I think I would do it, because I love hockey and I love playing hockey, and if I can be around hockey as long as I can, it would be awesome. So absolutely I would do it.
Yeah. You know, it's really the billet families that are the least out in the forefront. When you look at a program like the Riverkings, and you see the players on the ice, you see Brett and you see Dylan on the ice, and you see the people at the rink that support the game in that group, you really don't see the billet families and what they do. They're really indispensable. Without them, we don't have a program. And so you take people like Matt and Deb and what they do to host these young guys, and it just doesn't happen without them, does it, Dylan?
No, it does not. No, they really are like the backbone of the Riverkings, because without them, we would have to find our own living space, and that would be expensive, and I don't think we could do it. I don't think there'd be a team without them.
And just share your sentiments about that same question, please.
I think with billets, like the biggest thing is having someone to like fall back on at the end of the day. And last year living here, I didn't have another teammate to live with because Kyle lived here, obviously their billet son. So it's definitely like a different experience this year having another teammate here. So I think that like kind of helps with it because you're both going through like the same thing, so you can like kind of relate.
So would you consider it someday being a billet family for a young hockey player?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just like seeing the joy that they have for us. I mean, like, I don't know where I was going with that.
No, that's great. Thank you.
I don't know, like we connect with them every Wednesday. We have this like board game night where we just play like board games with them. We can talk. We have a couple teammates over, that type of thing. And I've always been more of like a family guy because that's how I've been raised. But someday I could see myself doing that. Absolutely.
Awesome. So we're going to take a little bitty time out. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Matt, and he's going to talk about his commitment to the Riverkings. Stay tuned as Riverkings hockey continues on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Now visiting with billet parent and Riverkings community member, Matt Fillmore. Matt, we really got two things to talk about. Let's talk about billet family first. This is your 4th year. How did that get started for you? Take us back to when you first talked to Marty about doing this and getting involved on this level.
Sure. Actually, it was a pretty interesting story. We started with my wife approaching me. She had seen a post on Facebook that the Riverkings were looking for host families. And we had an extra room at the time, and she just asked me, is this something that you'd like to do? And we thought about it. We had never done anything like that before. And we said, sure, let's go for it. Let's try it. So it was a very interesting experience that first year, very, very different for us. But we're extremely glad we did it. It's been just a great experience every year, and we really enjoy doing it.
So which came first? Did you get involved with the Riverkings? Because when we do the hockey TV live streaming, you're in charge of that. You're up there turning the dials. You're taking care of things. Did you get involved on that level first, and then came the billet family, or did it work the other way?
No, it was definitely the billet family was first. Okay. We got involved that way, and my wife and I came to all the home games and enjoyed that just as fans and host family that way. But then there was a little more need for some other support areas for the team. And got talking to Marty a little bit, and one thing kind of led to another there, and so now I'm upstairs working the hockey TV side of things. So I definitely enjoy that too. I have a technical background, and doing that sort of work is quite interesting and fun as well.
So tell us about what are the biggest challenges. You get to late summer, the young men come here. I want to know both the greatest challenges and the greatest joys to being a billet parent.
Well, the biggest joys, I'll start there, is just seeing them succeed and being the support group for the players, and we treat them like our own sons when they're here, and getting we really get the joy out of seeing them succeed on and off the ice, and grow as young men. It's very satisfying to see that. There certainly are some challenges to our son came home from college a little bit unexpectedly, so we had already provisioned his room for Dylan. So he has a bit of a makeshift sleeping arrangement right now, but everybody's satisfied with how that's working out, and we know it's a temporary thing. So so there's that, and the other thing is these guys can eat. Keeping the cupboards full and the fridge full is challenging sometimes. We go to the grocery store pretty regularly. I wouldn't doubt it if my wife is there right now. But yeah, keeping food in the house is a challenge. But other than that, it's pretty good. We really have no complaints. They're nice young men. I know that's part of what Marty looks for is character along with ability. So that's proven with all the players that I've had a chance to talk to. So there's really not much downside to the whole deal.
So what type of relationship do you develop with their parents? Because I got to believe a family sends a young man like Dylan from Colorado here to play hockey in Wisconsin, and they want to get to know you, and they want to keep up to date with you as to how he's doing.
Sure, yeah. We do have an opportunity to talk to the parents on occasion. Some more than others. Some parents see this as their son's first big thing and take a little more of a hands-off approach and let them kind of do their thing. And some parents are talking to us a little more regularly. But we do on occasion get to meet face to face with them, and that's usually a wonderful thing. Getting to talk to them and sit down, maybe have dinner, is always a nice treat to compare stories and things like that. So that's always a real fun thing as well.
Do you keep in touch with some of the players from past years that have stayed with you?
Yeah, we certainly do. We've had 3 or 4 players that have stayed with us in the past, and we've stayed in touch with pretty much all of them. We were able to take a trip out to Colorado. Our player from the first year was Max Legier. We went out and took a vacation out to Colorado and had a chance to see him while we were out there. So that was pretty nice. We've had players come back and visit as well. So that's it. Yeah, we try to keep in touch with them and keep up with how things are going in their lives, after the Riverkings. So, yeah.
So I'm going to give you a chance, Matt, to make your pitch. Somebody's watching the program, maybe would be considering of being a billet family in the future. Just share on that level.
Sure. Well, if you're ever thinking about bringing a player into your home and maybe you have questions about it, certainly there are other billet families that have gone through the process already and would be more than willing to answer questions. But it really is a wonderful thing. Getting to know these young men, watching them grow on and off the ice is it's just a very, very satisfying thing to add to your life. If you have the ability, if you have an extra room in your home, I would seriously consider doing that. It's been wonderful. So don't disregard it. It's a pretty cool thing.
So you'll probably consider doing it again next year?
I think without a doubt. yeah, as long as the River Kings are needing us, we'll certainly be there.
Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome.
Matt Fillmore, we're in his home, we're in his front room, and we're thankful that he allowed us to come on in and visit with Dylan and Brett and let you see the ability experience. But there's still more to come on River Kings hockey, so stay tuned. You're watching River Kings hockey on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Now we've moved inside of the River Kings locker room for this segment of the February edition of River Kings hockey on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. We're joined by goaltender Eric Schutte, who is now preparing for this second playoff series, a series that you'll see right here on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Eric, let's go back, spend just a moment or two to talk about really what was an exciting first-round playoff series. I, in specific, want to talk for a minute about the pressure of overtime. The Saturday game's an overtime game. It went deep into overtime. Talk to us about the pressure that you have. Playoff game, overtime. Just give us a sense of that.
Well, it's a lot of fun to begin with. We enjoy overtime. It's a fun environment. I mean, the fans really got into it, and we were all really getting into it, and it was just a great experience. And we did come out on top, so that obviously helps the experience. But it was very intense, especially for Ironwood. They had their backs against the wall, so they were playing desperate. They were playing hungry, so we had to match that intensity. And we really stepped up because I believe the shots in overtime were 26-7 or something along those lines. So we really dominated that overtime, I felt like. And I mean, they had their chances, but we definitely had the majority of them. And when Ryan Mance made that move through the middle and scored, I mean, the whole place went crazy. We celebrated, and it was just a great feeling, knowing we really felt like we earned that victory.
We don't know what will happen this weekend. We don't know what might happen at the national tournament after that. But it sounds, Eric, like that in your time as a River King, that Saturday game might stand as one of your favorite memories, the way you just described it to us.
Yeah, it will for sure. I mean, it was my first playoff overtime game. We had a few regular season overtime games, and those are fun. But I mean, in playoffs, it's one mistake makes or breaks your season, and it's just a great intensity and a really fun feeling.
Can you talk to me a little bit about having been through it last year, getting to the national tournament last year, going through the playoffs, having the pressure, having that goal out in front of you? How is that helping you this year, and what can you share with the new guys who weren't there last year?
It just helps when we're in the locker room and there's maybe a tough period or a little tough stretch or something like that, and you can get with a couple of the veteran guys who have been here before, and then like it's all good, it's okay, we can relax, we've done it before, and then it just helps because it's just the feeling of knowing you've done it before. I knew that we could win the first round. I'm confident we can win the second round. I know we can be successful in Boston if we do get there, and it's a good confidence to have, because if one guy kind of carries it, and not just me in particular, a lot of the veterans have it as well, so it's if a couple of guys carry it around, it kind of trickles down, and then everybody has that confidence.
You talked about the overtime game just last Saturday, but what has been the highlight for you this year, second year as a River King?
Probably just the success we've had. It's been a lot of fun. Again, another successful season. We ended up getting the home ice for both rounds. That was a fun little push at the end of the year, knowing that each game mattered and it got us prepared for playoffs. That was fun. And then off the ice, I like doing all the stuff around the rink. We help out with the field trips around here, so it's always fun seeing the little kids, and they dropped off 100 handwritten thank you notes to us. So it was fun going through those. They did their best rowdy drawings, so those were really cute, and they just said thank you and all that, and that's just a fun feeling because that's something you'll carry with you beyond the season.
So what will you take off the ice in your future from having been a River King?
Just the sense of helping the community, and it's really a great feeling when you're doing the right thing and you're not doing it because you want to, you're doing it for something bigger, because you wear your River Kings gear around town, or on all of our cars we have a River Kings sticker, so people know who we are. So you have to act in a respectful and proper manner, and not saying we wouldn't do that anyways, right. But it's just fun. It's something more than yourself, really, is what the best takeaway is, that I feel like.
So we head into the Final Four. 2 teams will make the national tournament this weekend. The Riverkings are the lone Wisconsin program in there with 3 Minnesota programs. You played the Blue Ox just within the last month, Eric. They're a very good hockey team, but you were able to sweep that home series here, get back them to second, past them, so that this series will be here this weekend.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that doesn't sit well with them. I don't think they liked getting past, because now instead of them having the home ice, they have to come see us. And so it'll be a good series. I mean, each games, they were pretty close. I think it was 2-1 we lost that first game against them, and then 5-2, I believe 5-2 again, and then 7-4. So they were all pretty even games. And, 1 or 2 plays or 1 or 2 bounces could really be the deciding factor.
Now, there's exciting news for you. You have your future set. You're going to be at Concordia College. You're going to be staying in Wisconsin. The Kansas native is going to stay in Wisconsin to play his college hockey. Tell us about your excitement in making that commitment and looking forward to that, Eric.
It was a lot of fun. It worked out really well. Coach Quarters really helped me out there and got that set up, and it was a fun call. He called me into his office and was ended up on the phone with Concordia's coach and got it all squared away. And so it's nice, knowing it's taken care of and that I have a set future. A little uncertainty isn't the best feeling, in playoffs. So it's nice can have it taken care of and focus exclusively on the playoff series.
Was your family excited for you?
Very, very. Yes, I went in the car and actually called my dad first, which did not make my mother happy, but that's all right. I told my dad that if my mom asked, I called her first, and so he's backed me up thus far. So I'm sure she just found out watching this, but
yeah, I was gonna say we won't let her watch this program.
Yeah, we'll slip this out. But yeah, it was just a really fun phone call. They were both really excited, and it's because they've been nothing but supportive through me my whole career when I started skating when I was 5. So it's fun and just a great feeling.
Now I received word recently from Art that you have a future in broadcasting. You announced one of the River King games and did just an outstanding job. Did you enjoy doing that?
Oh, I had a blast. That was so much fun. It was the last game of the regular season there, and Marty asked me, he said, "Hey, will you the broadcast?" And I was like, "Absolutely." Sounds like a blast. So went up there. I worked with Art and then Matt Fillmore from the other side of it, and it was just a lot of fun. It's definitely a different perspective, I'm sure. It's up there, and I think I said once to somebody, they asked how I liked it, and I was like, well, it's a lot easier to say Rutherford makes the save than actually having to make it myself. So it was a really good time. I had a great experience with it.
Well, we enjoyed it as well. Thanks, Eric, and good luck against the Blue Ox.
Thank you.
That's Eric Schutte, where interviews from the locker room are going to continue. We're going to talk to one of the top defense pair of the River Kings, Tommy McManus and Raymond Fleming. They are next as River Kings hockey continues. Our interviews from the River Kings locker room continue now as we're joined by the defense pair of Raymond Fleming and Tommy McManus. As you have joined us for River Kings hockey all throughout the season, you know that the defensive play has been outstanding, and these two gentlemen on that pair have been one of the reasons for that outstanding blue line of the River Kings. And so we're going to begin by talking with Tommy McManus. And Tommy, just tell us a little bit about chemistry. You and Raymond have been a defense pair throughout the season. You've played at a very high level. What's important about having chemistry as a defense pair?
Yeah, I think the important thing of chemistry is we're always on the ice together. I think it kind of helped out. I don't know really if it was Marty who ended up putting us together at the beginning of the year, but we kind of had a sense of who we might be playing with, and me and Raymond started out being really good friends early on. Really clicked off the ice as well, and that always helps as well when you can spend all your time outside of the rink hanging out together and enjoying the same kind of things, whether it's spending time together after a game or after practice, just hanging out. It's the time together that you bond and understand what the person's like off the ice, and then normally that kind of translates to chemistry on the ice as well. So we kind of a little bit of not the exact same playing style. One thing that I think we both do very well is we just work hard all the time. We don't really loaf, and we kind of expect the other person and keep each other accountable for working hard. And we kind of have a saying where we always want to outwork the other one, so we're always trying to outwork the other one, and when that happens, it's a pretty good thing when each of us are kind of going. So as far as chemistry-wise, it's a lot of off the ice kind of bonding and whatnot that really helps on the ice as well.
How about for you, Raymond? What about the chemistry? When did you know that you guys were a special defense pair?
We like to have a saying between ourselves. We're always on the same page. We just do almost everything together, being on the same page. I think it builds our chemistry really well. I think we both like each other. Just good friends, good teammates. We both work hard and communicate. So I like him. Just good deep pairing.
So we're 2 days away from the playoff series that will determine whether the River Kings qualify for the national tournament in Boston for a second straight year. Give me some sense, Raymond, give me some sense of Thursday night. The game is just underway against the Blue Ox. They're a good hockey team. You played them. You know that. Just where are you at inside in terms of preparing for and thinking about this series?
I mean, we worked hard all year, just 44 games, 2 playoff games. That's what we worked for, 2 more games till Boston. I mean, got to put it all on the line. Marty says max out. We practice all week. That's our reps, and our games are maxing out.
So, Tommy, I want you to answer for me. I'm watching the game from up top on Thursday night. What should I be looking for as the game opens up? What'll be the keys that I should keep focused on?
Yeah, I think one thing to notice right as the game's opening up is both teams are going to be very amped to be ready to play. We both had overtime winners last weekend to move forward. Both teams we've played each other 4 times already, so and every game we've played have been big games. The first time we played them, we were right behind them in the standings, and so we knew that they were important games. And the last time we played them, pretty much decided whether or not we were going to have home ice or they were going to have home ice in the playoffs. So every time we've played them, they've been important contests. So I think that's an important thing to realize, that it's not something new to us. Every time we've played them, it's been huge. But I think definitely the first 5 minutes and the first five face-offs of the game will definitely obviously not tell the winner of the game, but it'll show who's prepared to play, and I'm sure they're going to show up just as ready to play because no one likes their season to end.
So we put so much stake on the home ice advantage when they were here and we talked about those games. What advantages do you have now this weekend playing here at home?
Yeah, I think definitely one of the biggest ones is just sleeping in your own bed. The little things of familiarity make the biggest difference. I know one thing, me and Raymond always go eat breakfast at Grace's every morning before a game, and it's those familiarities where you know what you're putting in your body, you know who you're going to see, and not too many different things throughout the day. So when you're on the road, you're more reliant on weather conditions and the road conditions and what time you'll be showing up, because I know me and Raymond, we like to show up at the rink before a game, obviously not the last minute possible, but we like to get here and not have a lot of time to loaf around. We like to get here, get mentally dialed in and ready to go, and not have a lot of bored time sitting around. Whereas some guys, like I know Eric likes to get here early, and he has his own routine of things to do. So that gives us the opportunity to do our own things, and everyone's more dialed in, I feel like. So obviously that's a huge advantage. And another big advantage is having the hometown crowd, where every time you do something good, people are cheering, and they can score a goal and the place is quiet, so they don't get that extra boost of energy as we would. So I think those are big things, and we've got a great fan base that has always supported us this year. So
Raymond, as we head into these playoff games, each game means more. Would you expect and be prepared to play even more minutes? Maybe the bench will be shortened up and 2 defense pair will play most of the game?
During close games, we usually roll two pairs of D. So we're usually playing about half the game, usually 30 minutes a game, 29 minutes a game, something like that. So I think we should be expecting to play more, have our legs be burning every game. So we'll be prepared for that for sure.
Let's step off the ice for a moment, because that's just as important as what happens on the ice. Raymond, what's been your highlight of this year, on or off the ice? But let's just talk about this year as it comes to a conclusion. What's been the highlight for you?
I have a couple highlights. Last weekend had the overtime winner. That was pretty exciting for us. I'd say off the ice, we worked Christmas trees with Jan and Matt over at the Christmas tree farm near here. We had a great time. It was just helping them out with the boys in the morning. I loved it. It was awesome.
How about for you, Tommy? Highlights both on and off the ice.
Yeah, I think a lot of my highlights on the ice were obviously having a fairly decent sized role, being in the top couple deep pairs, but it's also been nice too because we've been able to roll 60, and we've got Zach Hartley and Colin Moore who are great players as well. So it's on the ice, it's always nice to have those guys be able to back us up. Off the ice too, I think one of the greatest things is I've been able to live and spend a lot of time with Eric Schutte, who's been one of my great friends from growing up, and gotten to know Raymond really well. He even got to come down to Thanksgiving in Kansas with us, so he spent some time with us down there because he wouldn't have been able to go all the way out to Washington. So I think that was one of my favorite memories, him coming down, and we worked Christmas trees together at the Wilesek Tree Farm. And a lot of the great memories just kind of happen in the locker room every day. Funny jokes that spread throughout the team and whatnot. So there's just a lot of little things that I'll remember. Obviously big games like the overtime winner, but there's all the little things that'll make you miss the boys when the season's over.
So give me one thing that you will take with you beyond life in hockey from having been a River King.
Yeah, I think definitely one of the biggest things is, I think Eric said it when you asked him as well, is we've spent a lot of time helping out the community, and one of the biggest things we do is field trips with kindergartners and preschoolers that come, and I think it's not only taught us like how to be a leader to people not only our own age, but also teaches us how to work with kids, and I think that's a huge thing, especially at the stage of life we all are at. We're going to have to deal with kids eventually, so being able to deal with more than just one or in numbers, I think that's definitely a huge thing. So yeah, I think the field trips have been one of the things I've learned from the most.
Same question for you, Raymond. What will you take with you to life beyond hockey from being a River King?
I have to agree with Tom. The field trips, just a great experience for us. We actually went to help out the special needs Boy Scouts one day for a little kind of visit for them, and we just had a great time showing them how hockey works, and they were just having a great time. It's a little different with the special needs guys and the kids. I think both just give great experience for us, and just I love it.
So one final question for both of you. What would it mean for you to get to Boston and compete in a national tournament?
That'd be awesome experience, just all our hard work paying off, maybe even get a national championship. Just it'd be unreal.
Tommy, how about same question for you?
Yeah, I think being able to make it out to Boston's what we all showed up the first week, and it was already on the board, and we were all looking forward to it then and there. So knowing that the hard work throughout the season has been towards a common goal and that we were able to accomplish something would definitely be huge. I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for a lot of guys to move up and get seen by schools. I know we've got 7 or 8 20-year-olds on the team who won't be eligible to play junior hockey next year, and so being able to play in Boston will really allow them to be seen by more schools than whether they're just in Wisconsin. And so then playing in with the 12 best teams in the league at that stage is where colleges are going to want to watch. So I think it'd be a great accomplishment for us to make it out there, and it's also a great way for guys to get seen and to move forward in their hockey careers as what junior hockey's for. So
thank you, gentlemen. Raymond Fleming, Tommy McManus, the outstanding defense pair of the River Kings, all set for the Blue Ox and that crucial playoff series for a trip to the national tournament. We're going to meet a couple of forwards next as River Kings hockey continues right here from the River Kings locker room on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Now we're back with a couple of the River Kings forwards. Here on my left is Xander Mavrogiannis, and to my right is Matt Kacharik, and we're going to be talking with them about forward play and about all the other things that we've had in this conversation. Matt, I'd like to start with you. Tell us a little bit about your joining the team. You got here roughly Thanksgiving time, and just talk about what you've seen in the team from when you came and where this team is at now with the playoff series to advance to the national tournament.
Right, so how we
were talking about last time, like I came from a tier 2 hockey, North American Hockey League. For some reason, Marty called me, so gave me a chance to join a team. Like it was really good time for me because guys helped me a lot, and now I can see through time that we are getting still better and better, and you can see it in the playoffs too.
Xander, you've been here, though, since the beginning of the season, so take us over the span of that time, training camp till now, what you've seen in this team and how it's grown.
Well, training camp was tough at first, but we all kind of bought in, and as the season went on, we just started all focusing on what coach has been saying, and just really just working hard and just focusing on every little detail we can to perfect our game.
Now, you guys aren't line mates, so I'm going to ask you to take a look at each other's game and give us a feel. Because, for instance, Xander, when I look at Matt's game, I think of a guy who's an outstanding penalty killer. I think of a guy who uses speed in his game to his best advantage. As a hockey player, you tell us about Matt's game.
Well, he's definitely fast. He's strong. He can kill penalties, which is really helpful for the team. He's got a good shot, and he's always looking to make the right play, whether it's a pass or a shot. So yeah, he's a good, well-rounded player.
So, Matt, I'd like to ask you to do the same thing about Xander's game, because I think of Xander, I think a guy who does the hard work, gets in, digs on the board, does the work below the goal line on the forecheck that is so important to setting up in the offensive end. You tell me about his game.
Yeah, I think Xander is kind of like same type of player as me. He's like really hardworking guy, good shot, really skilled, smart, and like I said, he's working hard and working his ass off every game. So it's giving a team a lot.
So let's go back and talk about that last playoff series. Just beat the team from Ironwood. An unexpectedly tight game on Friday night until you guys broke it open in the third period. Then the overtime game on Saturday night. What do you expect going into this series against Minnesota, Matt?
So we already played with them like 4 games before. We know that's really good team. So we have to be prepared for everything. And I'm sure that if we will be working as hard as last time, so we can make it.
Xander, should we expect really tight hockey games, close, physical, tight hockey games?
I think it's going to be real tight. The team that we're playing is very good, but we're ready. We're going to work hard and give it everything we have.
Xander, what has been your highlight for this season? I know that some of the best highlights might still be coming up this weekend in Boston. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But so far, what do you think the strongest memories of this year will be for you?
Just the day-to-day with the boys, coming to the rink, seeing them, joking around, working hard with them. Just practice every day is fun.
So it's more off the ice highlights than it is on the ice.
Yeah, there's on the ice for sure, but I like the camaraderie of the team.
So now, tell us about moving forward. You're a young man. You'll have a full life ahead after hockey. What will you carry with you from having been a River King?
There's a lot of things, but I think just the ability to work hard and get your goals and do everything you can to just be a good person and that's about it.
Okay. Matt, would like to ask the same questions of you. First of all, what's the highlight, whether it's on the ice or off the ice? What's your strongest memory of the season to this point?
I'm still waiting for the moment, and I wish it will happen, and that's the win the champions. So that's it.
Okay, but what will you carry with you outside of hockey? This whole idea of being a part of the River King family. That's what Coach Quarters would have us think of it as a family. What will you take with you from that part of it?
A lot of memories. I met so many good guys, so many good people. I'm getting still better in English, so I lived anywhere else than in Czech Republic, so now I see different culture, so a lot of new things for me, and I'm glad I had a chance to be there.
So we have you on this program together, but I'd like you both to talk about some couple of guys who aren't here right now, and that's your line mates, because I'd like you to share with us a sense of what it means to be on a line with a couple of guys, and the chemistry that you build in practice that helps you in the games, and just that whole deal, Xander.
Well, I play with Austin and Petey. They're two strong players. They like to, mix it up a little, like get on the kind of piss the other team off a little bit, and that's good because it gets the other guys off their game and kind of frees up some more space for me if they're paying attention to them and not me. So I enjoy playing with them. They're two good players, and I look forward to playing with them more in the playoffs.
Okay. Matt, tell us about your line mates. Tell us about what that's meant to you.
So Ryan Mance and Briggs Hatfield, or last time we had Cole Krieger in my line, everybody knows Ryan Mance, like big guy, super skilled guy, smart, super big goal for us in overtime last game. So I'm really happy that I can play with these guys because I think it fits together like really good and we are playing a good hockey.
One thing I'd like you to comment on, Matt, is I watch Ryan's game. The guy's an incredible playmaker, and he's always looking for you. You have to have awareness of him making a pass, making a play for you. What's it like to play with that level of playmaker on the ice?
I think we are guys like thinking same way in a hockey or about hockey. So I think how I said it fits like really good because I'm trying every time looking for him. I know where he is going, where he will be. Same thing from him. So how I said, I think we were playing really good hockey and we are good friends with Mancy and I hope it will be just keep going.
So guys, you had a huge overtime game on Saturday night, and that's sudden death. You get to overtime in a playoff game, that's sudden death. And I'd just like you to tell the fans a little bit about the decision about when you press in to go for the game-winning goal and when you make sure you have defensive coverage and you're not going to give up a good chance the other way. Explain to us in the heat of the moment that decision-making.
Well, we always want to be smart and not get too overextended, in the offensive zone. So we just want to make sure all of our guys on the ice are talking to each other and making sure who has who, and if the other team does get the puck, like where we're going to go and everything like that. So it's really dependent on communication.
Can you give us just some type of example of how hockey players communicate and make sure there's that kind of coverage?
Well, from the forwards and the defensemen, we'll often say like, "Oh, I got high," so the defensemen know that they can step in if they need to.
And you'll cover the point.
Exactly.
Okay. Matt, how about for you? Same question. It's overtime, and the only way you're going to win it's with a goal, but yet you have to be concerned and certain that you cover the defensive end too. Talk about the decision-making process on the ice.
So at first, honestly, it was my longest game in my career ever. So, it's really hard because every game you are prepared for 3 periods. You're working as hard for 60 minutes, and then you have to go and play another 20. So at least, so it's really hard. You have to concentrate in your head and like how I said before, you have to be prepared for everything. And in the overtime, everybody are tired, so it's just about the head. Who is stronger, he wants it more, and we did it last time, so I'm proud.
So final question for these gentlemen, the first of which, Matt, is that what would it mean for you to get the opportunity to play in the national tournament in Boston?
So I hope we will make it because that's the thing for what we are working for a whole year. So I think this team can make it. We can be successful. We just have to keep going and that's it.
Xander, same question for you now. What would it mean to earn that berth to the national tournament, get to play in Boston against the other 11 best teams in your classification?
Well, it would be great because we've worked so hard for that as a team, and we've all sacrificed a little bit of ourselves for the team, So it would mean a lot to get there and play well and win the championship.
And we are excited about watching them go for that opportunity this upcoming weekend. Depending on when you're watching the show, that will be the 1st of March, on Thursday, March 1st, and on Friday, March the 2nd. It's been our pleasure to be in the River King locker room. This is Xander Mavrogiannis. This is Mateusz Kaczyrik, and they'll be on the ice when you watch River King hockey on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media.